And I think we are live. This is the part I never know because it says setting up your meeting. But I think we're there. We're live. We're live. We're live.
We are live.
We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our final regular season preview show. We haven't done one live on YouTube in a while. So hopefully we'll have some of you guys coming in, hanging out, chatting. I'm going to tweet it out right now, let everyone know. Today is December 11th. How the hell did we get to December already? My name is Chris Hankin, joined as always by my co-host Pat Colicchio, and we are here to preview the Land Grant Trophy. Pat, on a scale of 1 to 1,000,000, how excited are you for the Land Grant Trophy?
I mean, 3 things you're going to be telling your grandkids about. Invention of fire, the submarine,
and the Land Grant Trophy. I've never really gotten into it before. I know it's like one of those like internet things that everyone just kind of like jokes around and loves. I've never really cared, but in a season when you're, what are we, 2 and 5, and you got nothing else, this is the Mega Bowl.
About to be 3 and 5 though.
About to be 3 and 5.
The fight for 500.
You know what? We'll probably talk. You know what? Fuck it. Let's talk about it right now.
That's what we're calling this, the fight for 500.
Fight for 500. But here's my question: Do you think, say we win this game, we win our crossover? Do you think they'll accept a bowl invite if you get it? There's been a lot of chatter back and forth on whether they will or won't.
I think they will.
Yeah.
I think James Franklin. I know it seems arbitrary, but I feel like James Franklin doesn't want to finish below 500.
True. I have a feeling. I have a feeling it'll be one of those ones where it's like in the locker room they'll just have a vote and like the players will vote whether they want to or not. Like it's been a grueling season, obviously. You know, being away from family, not being able to do everything normally. I would get it if they wouldn't want to, but I want 500. So let's win the land grant. Let's win whatever the hell crossover it is. They still don't even know what game that's going to be, where it's going to be. But let's win those. Let's win a bowl game. Let's finish 500. Speaking of 500, about to give away $500. No, I'm kidding. $50. Not that rich. But we had a little bit of a raffle giveaway contest, if you will. Love all of you guys for interacting. You guys are awesome on Twitter, on Instagram, since we've gotten that going. But every time I try to give away money, no one ever joins these things. So take advantage. I'm trying to give you free shit. But we had 5 people. 5 people left us a review on iTunes. So shout out to those people. We got Brow Cow, Mark Brower, American Kid 2, We Are Graphics, Mike James, and LRAM 1204. So what I'm going to try to do right now is screen share I got one of those wheel things going. I don't know if that's going to work during this like YouTube thing, but we're going to give it a shot. Can you see my screen at all? Pat, you are muted.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay,
sorry.
You can see my screen. I don't know if they can see it on YouTube.
I went into the little like side screen, like.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, God, how do I unmute it now?
Oh, nice. Okay, so they can see it. They can see it on YouTube. We've got our 5 people in there. I'm gonna hit spin randomly. Whoever it lands on wins $50. So this is a big moment. Drum roll, please.
These people better have all left us 5 stars.
I think they did, and I hope they did. Actually, they were really nice reviews. So actually, thank you to the people who left the reviews. Really nice reviews. Nice. So let's spin it. Here we go. Big money, $50. Spend it on whatever you'd like. The winner is Mike James.
Attaboy, Mike.
Congratulations. I think this was Michael Robinson in the chat from however long ago. How do I stop sharing this? Now that's going to be the question. That works. If I just close it. Okay, and we're back. So Michael Robinson, hit me up on Twitter or I'll DM you. We will get you $50. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate it. We love you. $50 coming your way. Okay, we got a game. We got a game to play. It is flexed from 3:30 to noon, which I don't love. I like mid-afternoon games. I know a lot of people like noon for some reason. Not my thing. But Penn State is a 14.5 point favorite, over under at 46.5. Michigan State is 2-4, which is funny because I look at that and I'm like, oh, they suck. We have basically identical records. They wins over Michigan early in the season and somehow beat Northwestern a couple weeks ago, which is just insane. Averaging about 20 points a game. I don't think this should be a contest. I hope not, not to spoil my pick, but we'll see. So let's start as we always do. What to watch for. Pat, what are you watching for in this game?
I mean, this is a tough one to predict just because, like, yeah, there's this feeling that Michigan State's so bad this year that, I mean, they're like bottom of the Big Ten in like almost every category. And then you look at it and they have the same record as us. And they have a much better win than us.
Yeah, over Northwestern, who's currently
Yes.
like a top 10 team, arguably.
So I'm like, there's part of me that's going, all right, is Michigan State like turning a corner right now? Like, is this like a whole new season for them? I mean, we've been a new team since one win. Like, that's for
True.
sure. We've looked totally different.
True.
But I think what to watch for is going to be the same thing that really decided the Rutgers game is the battle in the trenches. We dominated on both sides. And when we can do that, I don't think, there's not a lot of teams that can beat us.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Shout out to Kegel's Bagels is in the chat right now. Said, what up, guys? Wouldn't be the Big Ten without a trophy game. Agreed. The game is canceled. What's the other one? This like Oak Barrel or Old Oaken Barrel. I've never even heard of that one. That was the Minnesota? Purdue, Indiana that was canceled. Apparently that's a trophy I never heard of.
They're both in Indiana. That makes sense.
Yeah, I guess. Kegel says this is revenge, all caps, for the last few years. Parker Washington gets it going again. 2 TDs, PSU 31, MSU 10. Getting ahead of ourselves with predictions, but appreciate you, Kegel. My what's watch for is actually similar, but I'm just focusing on the defensive side of the ball. Watching for QB pressure, man. It was one of my don't be surprised if last week I thought we were going to get 3 or more sacks. We got 2. Brent Pry had a press conference this week that went mini viral in our Penn State world because he said the word shit, which everyone thought was hilarious. But he was more transparent. He was more open. And someone asked him, like, are you happy with, how we've gotten to the quarterback? And obviously the answer is no. But he talked about how, limited offseason changes, all that kind of thing. But he also talked about how, like, they've been working on things of containing quarterback, containing the run, which, like, kind of sounded a little bit excusey, but I get it, is what it is. But I think I want to see, and what I'm watching for is just dominant QB pressure. Michigan State has been sacked 12 times in 6 games, so averaging two per game. I think we should double that. I think we should get 3 to 4 sacks easily in this game. Rocky Lombardi's not a runner. He averages like 1 yard a carry. Nothing that we should need to contain on. And their run game is abysmal. They are averaging less than 100 yards a game, like 95 yards a game. So they should need to be passing pretty early on if we're able to just shut down the run, which should give us some time to get after Rocky Lombardi, sack them a whole lot of times, hit him a lot of times. And I just want to see that. I want to see that dominant, Wild Dogs front that we're used to, that we haven't seen recently. So that's what I'm watching for. D-line, front 7. Let's sack this guy. Don't be surprised if, bold prediction, Pat, what are you predicting for this epic battle of epic?
Don't be surprised if this looks a lot like the Rutgers game, man. I mean,
that's not a fun one.
I know, but it's what I honestly feel about this game. Michigan State's offense is not good. Rocky Lombardi's got more interceptions than touchdowns.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah, it's 9-8.
Oh,
the leading rusher on the year has 190 yards.
Yeah. Wow.
And and their leading receiver has 2 touchdowns on the year.
Oh my God.
So I mean, they're not a good offensive team.
Yeah.
And I also don't think Penn State is going to really open it up offensively. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to do what it takes to win. I think we're going to make manageable passes. I think it's going to be, the Kirk Shiraka death by 1,000 slants or whatever he chooses to kill you by, and then like small changes, but with not a lot of downfield threat. And we're just, I think we're going to hold them to very few points, but I don't see us getting into like the high 30s in scoring.
Yeah. Okay. It's on paper, their offense is just terrible. All the stats you mentioned, I said they're under 100 yards rushing per game. I think they only have 2 rushing touchdowns on the season, if I read that right. Are you looking at that right now? I
mean, their leading rusher has 0, so that wouldn't.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure as a team they have 2. Count them, 1, 2. But yeah, it's interesting because again, like on paper, their offense should be really bad, but they have put up points at times. So. Lost to Rutgers week 1, they put up 27. They beat Michigan with 27, but then they play some good teams. They only put up 7 against Iowa, got shut out by Indiana, somehow put up 29 against Northwestern and beat them. I think that was just like a trap game for Northwestern, a fall down or a let down game kind of thing.
It seems like they just played horrible.
Yeah, and then they put up 12 against OSU, which everyone should be shellacked against Ohio State. So, yeah, I agree with that. I hope it's not a lot like the Rutgers game. I hope our offense is a little bit more. We've been climbing, right? You've seen a little bit more each week. I want to see more than that. Which leads me to my don't be surprised if Jahan Dotson goes off. I don't know what Shiraka's going to call. I don't know what he's going to set him up for, but Dotson's had a great season. 38 catches, 587 yards, 6 touchdowns. But a lot of that came in the front half of the season where he was kind of lighting things up. The last 2 games have been fairly quiet. Last game, 4 for 30. Game before that, 3 for 30. And then before that was Iowa, where he did go off 8 for 139. He almost broke one last week in the Rutgers game. It was like a screen behind the line. He took it for 20. Almost took it to the house. I don't know. I think this is a big game for him. I don't think he's a guy that is even considering the draft. I know that we kind of talked about that early on when he was lighting it up early, but I think at this point it's a fairly deep receiver class. He would be a late round pick. I think he comes back. So this isn't like a hurrah farewell for him. But I think it's like, that Parker Washington has been going off a little bit. He's been getting the limelight. I think this is a game for Dotson where I don't know if he'll get the downfield opportunities, but whatever he gets, I think he's going to be breaking some tackles, making some guys miss, and just making them look silly.
I like that. I like to see it because I have felt the same way about him recently. That he's had this huge front half of the season while the team struggled, and like in the 2 wins, he's been pretty quiet. I think most of that is because of the way the offense has worked.
Exactly.
But
Yeah,
I would like to see more some big numbers.
Yeah, I don't think he's done anything wrong by any means. I think it's just the offense has become much more tame, relied on the running game, and relied on these quick screen passes. So yeah, I think he goes 100 plus and at least 1 touchdown in this game. Bold prediction, going for it. Let's put up some fucking points, man. Let's get exciting. This is Michigan State, man. A team that has plagued us in the past, a team that we should beat up on tomorrow. I feel it's senior day. We forgot to talk about that. It's senior day. Did you see this Pennsylvania governor put out the restrictions? Families can't go now.
I did not see that. But that's a bummer.
So yeah, Governor Tom Wolf, I think. I don't live in Pennsylvania, but pretty much everyone I know that lives in Pennsylvania.
Not a popular guy right now.
Follow on Twitter. Everyone kind of hates him. I tweeted out yesterday, like, I am all for being safe, stopping the spread, doing what's right. I'm good with that. I get it. But if you're comfortable having like the kids play and you're comfortable having people like able to go in and out of like stores, there's 107,000 capacity stadium. Letting like a few hundred family members spread out completely through different sections, put them in press boxes. Together? Yeah.
These are people who live in the same house.
Yeah. And I get it. Like if you make an exception for that and you have to make exceptions for other things, it's like a slippery slope. You don't. You could literally be like, hey, collegiate sports and professional sports can continue. Professional sports, no more fans at all. Collegiate sports, this is the last week of the season. After tomorrow, then you're done. Okay, cool. I'm good with that. So there's a lot of people on Twitter saying like, give them all like a paper towel and Windex and tell them that they're on the cleaning staff. They're essential personnel. Give them all press badges so that they have to be there. Like obviously it's not going to happen. And I think Penn State as an administration and as a public school kind of has to abide by what the governor says, unfortunately. So that does suck. My heart goes out to the seniors, the guys, playing in what could potentially be their last game at Penn State, and their families unfortunately have to watch remotely. So hopefully they light it up. I just want to see a blowout. Obviously we haven't had one all year. I would love to see just a dominant game. All right, that brings us to, this is going to be a quick one. There's not a whole lot to say. Last game of the season, can't hold anything back. But let's go with final score predictions. Like I mentioned, Penn State is a 14.5 point favorite. Over under is 46.5. Pat, I have a feeling I know what you're going with.
Oh, you know what I'm doing, baby.
Hit us with the numbers.
The old Colicchio classic. I'm going 27-10 Penn State. Just covers. Comes in nicely on the under.
Yeah. See, that's not fun. That's not a fun ending for me. That's not like that's like a wet blanket. That's like, all right. It's whatever. I feel okay. That would feel like a tie to me. Like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna go with the Hankin hard line as usual. I got Penn State 34-14. I wanted to put up like 50, but that's not going to happen, and I understand that. 34-14 sounds about right to me. It would mean that our offense is moving, we're clicking, things are good. The 14 is honestly just so that we can get to the over. I don't think they score more than 10. Whoa, computer noise. Sorry. I don't know if you could hear that, but I could hear a lot. Yeah, I think our offense, I think this game is going to be the game that our offense looks the best it's looked all season, and it should. It's the last game of the season. Like I said, we've kind of climbed each week. We've gotten a little bit better. We've implemented a little bit more. Clifford has gotten a little bit more comfortable since collapsing. I hope we don't see 17 Will Levis runs. Like I really hope that's not part of the game plan.
I'm with you on that one.
So yeah, I think that's what I'm personally rooting for. 34 or more, that would make me feel happy. And I think that's it, man. This is, like I said, a pretty short one.
Well, I do think we would be remiss if we didn't mention some other Penn State sports on this podcast.
Fair enough.
Penn State men's basketball, after, let's be honest, what I thought would not be a great season with the departure of Lamar Stevens and the departure of Pat Chambers.
And Mike Watkins too, right?
Yeah, Mike Watkins. Rebounds from a devastating overtime loss to my beloved Seton Hall Pirates.
Yep.
Come back with a top 15 victory, a 20-point victory over Virginia Tech. Huge win.
They looked great.
Yeah, and to be honest, they killed Seton Hall in the first half of that game. I was texting my dad like, this is a blowout. They were up by 19 at one point.
Damn.
Yeah.
And they just fell apart. I didn't watch that game. I watched the Virginia Tech one.
Seton Hall started playing really well, but it was a combination. Yeah, they fell apart a little bit, and then Seton Hall started playing really well. But I mean, I like this team, dude. Isaiah Brockington is making shots.
Yeah.
It's just like these guys play defense. This is a good team. Myron Jones, I like this team up and down a lot.
Yeah, I saw some tweet. I don't remember the exact stats, or somebody checked me on it, but it was something like last season Penn State made, I think it was like 10 or more threes or 11 more threes, like a handful of times, and they've done it like 3 out of their 4 games or 2 out of 3 games already, which is exciting. I am not a huge basketball fan by any means. I won't pretend to be. I will support them. I will be happy for them. But yeah, with the whole Chambers thing, that was like, I think for a lot of us on the outside came out of nowhere. And the team has been fairly vocal about like him being let go and not understanding why. Like Lamar Stevens talked about it. I think Myron Jones, maybe there's someone else who was like, yeah, we're still not really sure why that happened. Like it's not clear. So I thought that would be, maybe they're playing with a little extra, chip because of that. They're like, oh, you're going to take our coach away from us? Like, we'll show you. I don't know. But yeah, fun game. Sorry, Virginia Tech.
But yeah, it was a great game. And then, of course, got to pay attention to the wrestling news.
Of course. What do we got in the wrestling world?
First, on December 22nd, this will be a fun one. The Nittany Lion Wrestling Club is going to be having what I believe is going to be a freestyle dual meet against the Wolfpack Wrestling Club from NC State.
Nice.
NC State's got a great team, especially on the senior level. This should be really exciting. This is not a rollover win by any chance, which is rare for Penn State wrestling.
Yeah.
Not be like a clear winner heading into any dual meet. This will be a really exciting one. And then just announced January 9th, David Taylor will be going head-to-head against 5-time world and Olympic champion Jordan Burroughs.
Damn.
What I am dubbing the match of the century.
Where did Jordan Burroughs go? Was he Ohio State? Rutgers?
He went to Nebraska.
I knew it was a red team. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Damn. Match of the century. That's big.
He's the best modern American wrestler.
Burroughs is?
Yes.
Okay.
He's up there with the greatest American wrestlers in history. Like I said, 5. I think it's 5-time world and Olympic. It might be 6. He's gotten bronze the last 3 years in the Worlds and Olympics, but he's one of the greatest of all time, and he has beaten David before. I think it was the last Olympic trials. David was trying to get on that Olympic team and was winning, and got overtaken in the closing seconds by Jordan.
Damn.
This is a guy. He's like, I think he's 7-0 against Kyle Dake, who David lost to in the NCAA finals his junior year. I mean, Jordan Burroughs is an absolute legend in the sport. But David's a lot bigger now. He's at 86 kilos. Jordan wrestles at 74 kilos. That's like a 20-pound difference. They're going to be wrestling at 86.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
and what is this? I'm sorry if you said this. Is this like just an exhibition? Is this part of?
Yeah, it's being put on by Flow Wrestling. Just
okay. Cool.
I'm sure there's some money involved, but you know.
Yeah.
It'll
good
be fun.
for them. That's awesome. Yeah.
Not to mention, David has won a world championship since the last time they wrestled, so he's a whole new athlete.
Is the Magic Man.
Exactly. I mean, this is the most exciting matchup, like nationally for wrestling I've seen of maybe my life.
Damn. Okay. January 9th, you said?
Yep.
There you have it, folks. January 9th. If you are into wrestling of any facet,
2021 already better
Jordan
than
Burroughs,
2020.
Already better. And you know what? 2021 is going to be great because Penn State's going to go 500 in football. That's going to happen too. Basketball's winning.
Technically,
David Taylor's going to win. We'll be undefeated in 2021. I mean, we're going to finish. You get my point. Yeah, that's fun.
Also, we'll definitely play before Christmas Day, so I take that back.
True. Very true. Very true. I think that's it. Let's keep this one as a short one. Shout out to the 5 or 6 people who are watching us. We appreciate you. Kegels Bagels, our D better dominate their putrid offense. I agree. We appreciate you very much. Let's go finish this season strong. Let's get this land grant. No injuries while you're trying to lift it. That thing is so absurd. It's the most ridiculous trophy ever. I'm interested to see the crossover game. Obviously, the Big Ten championship debacle is now settled. Ohio State will go. Shocker. So we should finish like 3rd or 4th, I think, depending on what happens to that Maryland Rutgers game. If Rutgers beats Maryland, then I think we jump to 3rd. If not, then I think maybe we'd be 4th. I don't know. We should be somewhere in the 4 to 5 range. We'll probably end up playing a Purdue or a Minnesota, or I don't know, maybe Nebraska
Minnesota
again.
Would be exciting because I mean
Minnesota would be fun,
but they score points.
Yeah, that could be a fun game. So, stay tuned. Noon tomorrow, we'll be live tweeting as usual. Hit us with your predictions in the morning. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Shout out to Mick James. I don't know how you say it, but you just won $50. I will hit you up on Twitter. And I think that's all we got. Pat, anything else for the listeners?
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for stopping by, and you stay classy, San Diego.